Right guys, Dan Hendriksen here. I am at Teignmouth Golf Club again. So we're going to do a little fitting today with the head teaching professional up here, John Axford. John, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, Dan?
So what have we got installed today?
So we're doing a fitting with Graham, who is one of our members at the club here. We've done a few lessons over the years with Graham, so I know his game quite well. And we're just going to do a bit of a fit/lesson, mainly a fit, but if there's something we feel we need to tweak to get the club right, we will do that. Okay. Graham is open to change.
I'm Graham. I play off 14 handicap, looking to get a new driver. Currently play with a Mitsuno, so looking to try and get a bit more length.
So what driver have we got there for Graham here, John?
Right, we've got a Mizuno JPX EZ, 12 degrees of loft.
Yes.
We did tweak this in Graham's last lesson and we made it 2 degrees upright.
Okay, so you basically tried to help, is he moving it off to the right hand side a little bit too much?
Yeah, so if he has a bad shot, Graham would tend to overfade it. Okay. So we've just put it 2 degrees upright, which is going to help close the face to path. So just changing face to path through dynamic lie to try and get that ball to not.
And Graham, were you originally fitted for this driver?
Yeah, I was fitted, yeah, probably about 15 years ago when I bought it.
Was it that long ago?
A long time ago, yeah.
Okay. I just noticed there's a nice little dent on the end of that one there, Graham. Is that part of it?
That was, yes, that was a little faux part of the driving range, I'm afraid. So
wasn't back at abuse, was it?
It wasn't you, John.
Hit the side.
No, hit the side, yeah.
Right, I think it's really important to try and get as many amateurs involved in these fittings, so it relates more to what you guys down there are going to have to go through yourselves when it comes to a driver fitting. Now for Graham, playing off 14, we've got a little bit of movement from left to right. We're going to try and see if we can get him a little bit more length and maybe straighten that ball flight up a little bit for him. So we're going to get Graham to hit a few shots with his own driver. Then we're going to have a little look at his numbers, and then John's going to start to make some recommendations of what driver we might move into. How's he looking?
So he's gone back a little bit more fade than we've had him. So we've had him slightly better than this in terms of delivery, but yeah, we've definitely gone back a little bit. So we can do a little bit of work on the club path here. Yep. Because you're sort of averaging 18.9 out to in.
Yep.
3.9 down. So that's the old move. And we know that's your tendency, and we've had it a lot better than that. We can definitely get it better. Yep. So what we're using here is we're using the optimizer, Graham. So the Trackman here is taking your swing speed and your attack angle. Yep. And then the Trackman uses an algorithm to work out your optimal distances. Yep. So we have your carry here, optimally would be 189. Yep. For a total distance of 215. Okay. You might get a bit more run on our course in the summer because it bakes out a bit, but this is kind of just an average.
So total distance, Sean, is about 215, is what you're saying?
That's what we'd like to get to. That would be absolute perfection for your swing speed and the way you're delivering the club on the downswing. Yep. We're not actually achieving that at the moment. On average, we're only getting 161, which is where you're seeing this kind of loss compared to your mates. Correct. You can do some that are better than that for sure. That's a bit of an average. There you go, you had a 1 at 197, which is a bit of a lower one. We can manage this, make it a lot softer, and get you playing that little cut which you know you can play, and that's going to help. But I think we can also get a driver that's going to help as well. Okay. So something set up with a bit of a draw bias on it would be really good for you. If we can get a driver that's going to help, and the swing, you know, the swing's the cake and the driver's like the icing on the cake, if that makes sense. We've still got to swing it well. But
still got to get the swing going better anyway. So
exactly, there's only so much the club can do, but definitely setting you up into maybe an actual draw bias head with some more weight in the heel side of the club would definitely be something to look at.
So what we're going to do now, John's just going to set up the video. John wants to have a quick look at his golf swing because, again, John likes to work with lesson and fitting at the same time. So if he can kind of help with the golf swing, that in turn will help with his deliveries, which then gives him a different type of driver to fit him into.
We're going to put something in the way, because this is what we've done with you before. It's helped.
Various sticks and things.
Yeah. And I think that's the way you learn best.
So what are you trying to do here, John?
Right, so we're trying to get the swing path less left and down.
Okay, so he's 18 degrees left.
Yeah.
It's quite an extreme move, isn't it?
It is. It's too much. I want to quieten that down. Now, there are many different ways we can quieten this down, and we've got to experiment a little bit and to find what works for Graham. But I want stuff that you can take out onto the course as quick as possible. We do some stick drills which really help him. Every time we do the stick drills in the lesson, he gets better. The only thing for me is that the stick drills it's not a quick fix, but I know if we do the stick drills now, his numbers will improve dramatically straight away. Yeah. But when he steps out on the golf course tomorrow, I'm not sure it's going to stick as well as if we can get him doing some practice where he's doing it without anything in the way, a bit like he would be on the course, if that makes sense.
And you're using a different sport there. You're using tennis to try and get him the feeling of hitting that different type of shot shape.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to see golf in a different way, because if we give him the golf club, his brain just goes, all right, golf swing, golf club. It pulls out the file, if you like, in the computer and says, this is what I do when I hit a golf ball. Last time I did it, it hit the golf ball, it made it work. If we can try and relate it to another sport and get him to see it differently, there's a chance it makes it a lot easier, in my opinion, to start to change the movement pattern a little bit. And hopefully we can just soften those numbers. I'm not saying we're going to draw the ball now, but just soften it.
And I love this. I think this is a fantastic way of coaching. I use kind of, sometimes football, I use the feet to help me try and work with players, especially if they've played football in the past. It just gives them a different way of thinking about how to move a ball as such. Fantastic way of teaching.
First driver up.
Okay.
10.5 draw head. We're going to go regular flex.
Yep.
You're mid to late 80s. I like you in a regular.
Okay.
So I think if you're in the 90s, we'd go stiff, but you tend to fall a little bit to the right as well. We don't want anything too stiff. It's going to make that worse. It's going to help square the face up a little bit. And then we've got the draw head model, which has got more weight into the heel, and the face is sitting a little bit closed. Okay. It's going to help start that ball a bit more online.
Yep.
Let's give that a go.
Cleveland. How's it performing?
Good.
Yeah,
good. We've done a little bit of work on the swing as well. We were averaging 163 with quite a high spin rate.
This is with the other driver, Mizuno driver you had before.
Yep. And we had a minus 18 path. On these next few we've softened the path.
So we've gone from 18 out to in to now 6 degrees out to in. So that's a big move, isn't it? That's
really good, isn't it?
Over halving what you do. If you can do that every time, Graham.
I'm really pleased because I see all those stats moving into the blue zone, aren't they?
And this isn't all the driver here. This is a bit of
what we've done?
Swing. Well, it is a lot of swing, to be perfectly honest. Okay. But I think on the miss hits that you hit with the Cleveland should be a bit more forgiving.
Yep.
Also, we put you into a draw head, which will help.
Yep.
We are hanging it out a little bit to the right, a little bit, because we're leaving the face a little bit open. So we did talk about, and Dan helped with this, about letting that club head release as you swing under that stick that we had in the ground there, and get the ball.
To try and compensate for that final leaking on the right-hand side there.
Exactly. But if we look at the distance, we've gone from 163 to 199.
Yeah. What are we going into now?
We're just going to try the 12 in the Cleveland.
Okay.
Get that launch up a little bit.
I feel like we're getting somewhere, John.
We are getting somewhere now. Well done, Graham. So we can see that now we've got the club path, only 5 left.
Very good. From going from 18 to 5.
Very good, Graham.
You're a magician.
He is a good man.
You're the man. You did it. You're the one swinging the club.
He's a good coach, Dan.
Bit of a team effort, I think, there. Club path a lot better. Attack now 0 rather than loads down.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Much better.
So 212 total, 131 ball speed. And earlier on,
that's so
114.
Yep. Yeah. No, very much so.
So yeah, that is a bit of a game, and we've lost that nasty. All right, it's a bit of a pull. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it was the first one I've hit in that direction.
But I like that for you. I'd love that to be your bad shot for a while.
Okay, so is your work done?
It's a long way. It's pretty much getting there. I think what we've got to decide now is whether we're going to go in a 10-5 or a 12.
Okay.
Knowing that Graham's going to be working on this release.
Yeah.
I quite like him in a 12, to be honest. I think a 12's better. The only thing is we haven't got the draw head, so he's got to make sure he releases the club properly like he did on that last one. So this was not with a draw head. And we can see with the better swing, he managed to get it where we want it.
The 12 is giving me more loft, John, is it? Okay.
Which is your friend.
Which is what I want. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And you're noticing that on the golf course, you can feel like that flight.
Yeah, it's always a low hit, so anything that improves the loft is good.
Yeah, so we're going to go 12. We could have a little go, if you're open to it, try the G4 10-12 in a draw.
So price point's a key thing here when we've talked to Graham, haven't we?
Yeah.
So you're coming from a 279 driver now to maybe moving up to close to £400.
Yeah.
You're looking for some big numbers from the G410 to make him make that change if he's going to move into that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I'd be more than happy for him to go with that Cleveland 12 and work on the swing a little bit. But we can, in the Ping G410, the bonus with that is we can change the loft around a little bit, we can move the weights around a bit more, so we've got more adjustability, which is what you're getting for your money.
Right, we've done some testing with both the Cleveland and the Ping now. I've just asked, because obviously Graham is making a swing change, I've just asked him to hit his driver again, just so we can get some numbers with what that club's doing now. There has been an incident.
There has been an incident.
Walk us through it, John. What's been going on?
So we got Graham to hit his driver again after using the 12 reg Cleveland, and then we did the Pings.
Yeah. So out of the two drivers, the Ping and the Cleveland, which is the one that you would recommend for him?
If we go back to the Cleveland a second, slight pull, we know, a little bit low on the face, so it went a little bit lower than we would like, but 212, way longer than what he was doing before, a lot faster off the face, closer to the price point he was talking about as well.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we're going to get Graham to try that one on the golf course, and that's a strong favourite at the moment.
Yeah. But now just bring up his old driver with his new swing for me.
This is where it gets interesting. Okay, so we got to his old driver, new swing, and he did that.
So getting all these numbers pretty close into the optimal.
Yeah.
Is this the longest shot of the day?
I think it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've hit a number of shots today with a number of different clubs. How did it feel, number one? What were you thinking about when you were hitting the Cleveland?
The Cleveland, once I'd obviously John had helped my swing plane, the Cleveland felt very good, and I was more than happy with the 12 degree, and I think I tend to go for that one.
Yeah.
I hit one or two tidy shots with the Ping 410, but probably not enough to convince me that was the club for me, with the difference in price.
Yeah, I mean, so about £120.
About £120, which I'd be happy to spend, but is it really worth it? I was pleased at the end that obviously I hit a really good shot with the Mizuno, which obviously stirred things up. I'd certainly still be inclined to go with the Cleveland and buy a Cleveland just to upgrade my technology, really.
Yeah.
But also combine that with some more lessons to keep that swing going. I think what has been proved to me again is that you've got to get the swing right, and that then hits the ball cleanly.
Right, so much to take from that session. I think Graham came in here with the idea of him wanting to change his driver, and to be honest with you, with the damage that he's done to that driver in the head, a little dent in the head, I don't think he's given him much confidence moving forward. But I think the important factor there is the fact that these drivers, they can help you, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure your golf swing is working for you and not against you. For Graham, he needs to go away and work on this, but the message is quite simple. When you get a fitting, make sure you're getting a lesson at the same time to make sure that your deliveries are as good as you possibly can. So for Graham, he needs to take this out into the golf course and get an idea of how it feels, take it to the driving range, get an idea of how this club's going to work for him, but more importantly, he needs to continue his lessons moving forward with John. So I want to hear what's gone on in your fittings. Do your fittings turn out to be lessons at the same time, or are they just fittings based on what you're delivering at that particular day? Let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.